Welcome to the Your Leadership Legacy podcast. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I'm so excited to bring you this next podcast dedicated to you high performers out there who want to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, maybe your career, all of it. This podcast is all about being dedicated to transformation and being the best possible leader of yourself and others that you can be in order to create a legacy that lives on. Welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause. I am the founder and CEO of True You Teams. And here we go. Hey everyone, welcome to Your Leadership Legacy. My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I am super excited today to have Kristen Lena, a very dear friend of mine and amazing coach, on with us today. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world right now. So Kristen, welcome.
Hi Tina, thank you. Good. I'm always good, and life is really good in these interesting times. So yeah. I appreciate you having me on. I love this kind of stuff, and I love collaborating and sharing and putting positivity out into the world.
Absolutely. Yeah. We get to do lots of collaborating.
Really do.
Over the course of the next couple of months. But let me read your bio, okay, and then I'm going to ask you a couple questions. So Kristen Lena, as a catalyst for Bold Audacious Self-Expression, Kristen Lena helps purpose-driven women unleash who they are and use their voice to create a fully expressed life. As a 14-year fitness industry veteran, she coached and trained more than 1,000 women around their health and wellness, and now stands to empower women in body, mind, and spirit. She believes that when women come together from their highest self and use their voice for good, everything and anything is possible. I love that. I love that. Kristen, tell us a little bit about who you are.
So as Tina said, I spent actually 17 years in the fitness industry in various roles, but the most significant part of that journey was as a fitness professional, I was really dedicated to empowering women. And so I started my own fitness boot camp for women. And through that 6-year journey of having, really empowering women in their body, what became very obvious to me as I was growing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, I was starting to see what was missing in the work that I was doing out in the world. So I was working on the outside for women, but really it all starts with the internal dialogue, the internal relationship to self. And so I started to dive inward, and I started to do mindset coaching, and then coached women around their relationship to food and themselves. And then now really how this has evolved is really helping women discover and then communicate the core of who they are. And really, like, what that means to me is there's a truth about you, just like there's a truth about me. And I don't mean, physical truth. I don't mean that. I don't mean, the sky is blue. I mean the truth of who you say you are. And for so many women, I think what happens over time, what happened, in my life was that I thought I was the roles that I occupied. I thought I was girlfriend or employee or wife or mom or even entrepreneur. And when I started to really go in and go deep, did I discover the spiritual side of my humanity. And really that's where the gold is. That's where true healing happens. That's where true power lives. And that's where the kind of collaboration that Tina, you and I, and a lot of our leadership colleagues are having an impact out in the world. So I believe that when we don't tell the truth, I call it telling the truth about ourselves and who we are, what we want, why we believe we're here, what's important to us, how we want to show up, what our legacy, what we're committed to our legacy being, looking back, not to be morbid, but like on our deathbeds, looking back at our lives and saying, oh, I served. Oh, I gave out. I was generous. I made a difference. That's when we're actually living.
Yeah, right. And if you take that into like today's times and what we've got going on right now, I mean, the thing that keeps running through my head and my heart is I don't want to get 6 months down the road or however, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, who knows, like, right. I don't want to get to the end of this and and have regrets, right? And know that I didn't do everything possible within everything that I am to help not only myself and my family get through this, but to help like the planet get
Others.
through, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There's so much giving out right now. So as you're one of my dearest friends. You're an amazing, amazing coach. And I've seen it in action. So I know it to be true. So like your clients right now, they're coming to you. What's the biggest thing that you're coaching them through right now?
Fear.
Yeah.
It's, we're wired, like our brains are wired for survival.
Yeah.
And what the brain does is it assesses in an instant, it assesses whether or not something is safe.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what keeps us in our comfort zone, our box, right? And that's fine. Like, that's all good, right? That works from the standpoint of we operate, here's the thing, we operate life, we walk through life as if tomorrow is guaranteed. We plan for it. We schedule meetings for it. We create our vision for it. And so when something like this happens, the actual truth is all we have is right now. Yeah. Like this moment, right now and right now and right now. So really it's supporting people through, I don't know what tomorrow, what the next hour, what next week, what the next couple months holds. And I go, great. Welcome to being alive. Welcome to being awake. Welcome to actually being here in the present moment. And people freak out.
Yeah.
I get it. It's a safety. We're, like I said, we're wired for safety. We're wired for making sure that we are not going to die. We have all of the resources that we need: food, shelter, water, all of that. And when those things are threatened, whether real or like imagine, like what if it is, we're living in a what if kind of a context.
Right.
And so a lot of, my clients are split down the middle a little bit. Like some of them are just like, okay, it is what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be. I can't control it. There's nothing I can do about whatever's going to happen tomorrow.
Right.
So I'm just going to keep doing what I do. And then there's others who are just like gripped, paralyzed, in like can't breathe, like complete and total anxiety. And so we just do some present moment awareness. Really, like, if I were to tell you in this moment, Tina, you're safe, like right now in this moment, you've got breath, you're breathing, you're housed, right? There's heat, you've got food in your fridge, like right now in this moment, you're safe. Yeah. And what we typically want to do is what if, and we want to catastrophize, and that's a normal reaction.
Right. It's like controlling the future, right?
Exactly.
We try to control the future.
Well, I think the biggest spiritual myth is that we think that we do control the future.
Right. Yeah.
We operate in that way. Mm-hmm. And listen, I'm not saying sit around and be like, hey man, like it's all good. Plan for the future and know that in this moment right now is your power. Your power lives in this moment right now. Who am I going to be about any given circumstance? It could be business as usual. A coworker comes in and says something that just triggers you. Who are you going to be in any moment? Your husband comes home and says, hey, I'm unhappy in our relationship. Your child is getting bad grades. Like in any moment, the personal power that we as human beings have is our reaction and our perspective, how we respond versus how we react.
Right. I love the personal power aspect of it, right? I mean, like if we think about it, we can't, and you like really come to grips with, I can't control the future. All I can control is this present moment. There's so much opportunity right now for every single person out there to just step into their leadership and to step into their power. And now's the time to do it, right? There's all this opportunity to just reinvent and all of that. So like, how are you coaching people through that? Like the world of possibility, right? Yeah. Like, what if we took where you're at right now and we moved into this world of possibility? So how do you coach people into that?
Yeah, well, and to be clear, we don't control any moment. We control our response to it. We have power over how we choose to view, see, interact with the present and
Right.
also the future. So I'll give you an example of a client of mine who, you know, what ends up happening when it becomes like kind of this high anxiety, fear response is we start to go down the, what if this happens? And then the brain wants to pile everything else on that's like, and then this will, like, we take it to the, really our biggest fear is death. Our biggest fear is that we lose everything. We're homeless. We get sick. We die. Our people die. Like, our people we love die. Like, that is the ultimate fear that human beings have, is the fear of death. And so one of my clients, you know, called and was in an experience like that where she couldn't breathe. She was in this, and then this is going on, and my parents and my job and COVID and my coworker and money, and that's, we catastrophize, and we blow this up out of proportion. And so I just got her grounded to the present moment. And here's the power. We automatically want to say, what if, worst case scenario?
Right.
And in this moment, what I'm really clear on is, what if best case scenario? What if this experience, this global experience that we're having, is designed to have us slow down and reassess what's really important?
Yeah. Like, what happening for us, not to us, right?
Yeah. What if this experience is an opportunity for us to connect with the people that we've been so disconnected with? What if this is an opportunity for us to quiet our minds and actually listen to, and I'll just call it divine, like I'll call it God's self, highest self, truest self, is like eternal, our soul or spirit. What if it's an opportunity for you to connect and say, all right, I'm not playing a big enough game. I'm not living into who I know I am. You know, I call it the small voice. There's that tiny, almost imperceptible voice that's like, you're amazing. You can do anything. You have more power in your fingertip than, you know, anything else in the world. Yeah. That's the voice of that's real. The big voice is the scary, we're going to die. Holy shit, you suck. You got it. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't have money in the bank. And what, you know, like it could, that big voice, that's the one that drowns out the little voice. So when we get still, we get to connect. So that's really, that's the superpower. That's the superpower. The other thing I'll say is one of the things that I'm really communicating to people is surround yourself with people who are having high vibration conversations, people who are talking about possibility, people who are looking at, wow, what is this virus? What is this virus teaching us? What is this moment right now in history that is unprecedented? What could we create? What's possible? Like actually focusing on the opportunities.
Right. So if I'm somebody and I'm listening to this, Kristen, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds great, but I don't have those people around me, right? Like I'm continuing to get caught up in the doomsday conversations. I'm continuing to get caught up in what I can't control. Like what is your response to, like, where do I even start?
So I would say that right now for me, social media is just an amazing tool for connection. Where I would start first internally. And first of all, you get to be responsible for your perspective. You get to be responsible for the energy that you allow in and the energy that you put out, the thoughts that you focus on. When we focus on listening to and I'm not saying there's no value in this, but when we're focusing on the deaths and the possibility of us getting this virus and deaths and dying, if we're focusing on the fear, then we're going to attract that to us. Right. So what do I would say, first of all, be 100% responsible for your life. And what I mean by that is you allow whatever is occurring in your world to come in. And I'm not trying to say like be Pollyanna, but know that like a lot of us, I'm going to just tell you just brief little side story. I used to be it sometimes comes out, but now it's not in a disempowering way. I used to be a little bit of a drama queen. I used to be I used to be, it comes out now, but it's like joyous. But it's
a positive drama queen now.
Totally like, just like light and airy. It used to be, I will tell you this, my nickname growing up as a kid was Freakston. And I hated it because I would have like major meltdowns, like, oh my God. And so when I focused on like the sky is falling, guess what I created around me?
I bet the sky was falling.
Yeah, it really was. And people were like, ooh, no one really wanted to be around me. It wasn't fun. I wasn't pulling positivity in. I was repelling people. I was repelling all the good stuff. Mm-hmm. So be responsible for your perspective.
Love
the
it.
Thing that here's the thing, here's where we have personal power. We control nothing. We control nothing. This is what we have choice over. Choice. The thoughts that are running through your mind are there, and they're probably on a loop, and you're probably asleep to them. Most of us are asleep to them. Mm-hmm. So you get to do some sort of a mindfulness practice that wakes you up to the tape consistently always running in the background. So meditation, yoga. Yoga is one of my favorites. It is meditation in motion.
And there's so much yoga out there now. Like
so much everything out there.
Yeah. Like my favorite yoga instructor that, she's like 2 miles down at the gym, and I'm always busy and I don't get there as much. Now she's like, every day I get to do yoga with her. It's like, we got to look at the positives in all this too, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And it is being responsible for what you're consuming. Mm-hmm. I really believe that. So if I would lovingly call bullshit. I apologize for using swear words. I would lovingly call bullshit on someone who says, I'm surrounded by negativity.
Mm-hmm. Because it's a choice, right? It's a total choice.
Yeah. So whatever you're focusing on is going to expand. You're going to see more and more of it. Mm-hmm. So why not be the person who goes through and look through your Facebook friends, and some of them, here's the thing, and I talk about this a lot. Some of the people in your life that, maybe the most negative, you might be related to them. And that's it's challenging. Mm-hmm. So in a sea of shit, in a sea of fear, we get to protect. Like, I am very conscious of protecting what comes in to my field and what I choose to put out, because I want to be a source for someone else feeling like, oh, okay, I'm okay. Yeah. I want to be the source for that. Right. So that's
it's like being the source you can be the source for the solution, or you can be a source for the problem. You get to choose which one.
Yep. And you can focus on all the stuff that's going wrong. Mm-hmm. And if, I would say, look through your Facebook feed. Last night I went through, and I don't scroll through Facebook.
You didn't defriend me, did you?
Never. You're one of my faves. You are one of my faves. No, I was scrolling through and I'm seeing these posts that people are putting, and I was like, unfriend. I don't even know you anyway, so unfriend. Like, I'll be perfectly honest. I have unfollowed family members before, because if I don't align with, I choose what comes in. Yep. And consciously, like, I can consciously make the choice of like unfollowing, not seeing first, don't see at all, like those. Mm-hmm. So start to follow people like Tina, start to follow people that, are putting positivity out into the world. And you can just ask, like, hey, I really post something on Facebook. Hey, I really want to elevate my vibration. I really want to focus on positivity. Who should I follow? Trust me.
You're going to get lots of names.
Lots of names.
Yeah, yep. Exactly. Well, I mean, and it's crazy too, because even just like, I don't do a lot of scrolling anymore on Facebook, but when I do, like, if I immediately see something negative, boom, gone, boom, gone, boom, gone. Right. Like, because again, I get to control what comes in and what goes out. Mm-hmm. And it's just such a good lesson and such a good thing about that. Yeah. So when we talk about leadership, Kristen, and we talk, you and I have been through leadership programs and work together. We've done a retreat together. We talk almost like on a daily kind of basis. And I'm curious to know what you feel like your biggest leadership lesson in the last 2 weeks, right? Like last 2 weeks feels like 2 years. And what has been your biggest lesson over the last 2 weeks with the world that we're in right now?
Yeah. So the biggest leadership lesson that I have learned, and it feels like a switch got flipped for me, in all honesty. Yeah. is generosity, is serving, is giving out, is as someone who is highly trained. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and hours and years of my life really like on this kind of work, self-development, personal development, transformational leadership. Like I have done so much on this that I get to now be this for other people. I get to share this message of possibility, message of opportunity, message of, you know, whatever, like we get to come together as leaders and share, you know, I think, and this is a really great realization for me as an entrepreneur, my focus up until this moment, this is the gift for me with this coronavirus. As an entrepreneur, it's always been about the next sale, the next program, the next thing I'm going to offer, which is really about me. And I'm going to just tell on myself for a little bit, but like numbers and hitting numbers and generating revenue and getting new clients. And it always felt a little, it just felt icky. It felt about me. And it was always kind of something out of alignment. Everything is off the table for me. Like it's off the table. There's no, oh, I've got this program, you should sign up for it. It's not appropriate. My personal opinion right now, it's not appropriate. What's appropriate for me, what I'm feeling, because I'm connected to why I'm here. I'm clear.
Right.
I am clear.
Yeah. I love that. We've talked.
The opportunity for me right now is to give, is to be generous. And in doing that, level of connection to people, not prospects, but people. There's people in my life that are clients, they're ex-clients, and none of that is in my field right now. None of that is in my field. It's like, how are you? Like, tell me what's going on with you. What are you experiencing? What do you need support with? How can I support you? How can I serve? And that is magic.
Yeah. It's
totally powerful. It really is.
And I have talked about that because I feel very much the same way right now. It's about pulling people through this. It's about supporting people as we go through this as a whole. And it's the best work out there and people need it right now.
Yeah. And the connection is amazing. The connection that I feel and I'm not even talking about like, it's everyone. It's like, this is not something that I'm going through. And this is not something that you're going through.
Right.
This is like this collective, global, like if you think about it, it's insane. You think about it, it's magical. Like every single person on the planet impacted by this.
Right.
Not like gonna get it, but like every single person impacted by what's occurring. And we are all connected.
Yeah.
We are all connected.
It's like, there's never been a time for me, and we're both 50, right? Or you're almost there. Sorry, almost there. But like in the 50 years I've been around, this is like, I've never ever, like we've never had this before, right? So it's like this total like reboot. I want to talk about how this is happening for us. And
I love it.
I know, this is like a favorite topic, right? Because it would be really easy to sit and go, this is happening to me, woe is me, all of that. And when we choose to really step in and go, no, this is all about possibility and what we can create, like, what does that mean for you? What does that look like for you? I know what it is, but I want everyone listening to know.
Yeah. So what it looks like for me is like, what am I creating? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, kind of. Like, what do we get to create in this moment?
Yeah. Well, connection, support, unity.
Yeah.
Like it just kind of keeps coming back to this. Wow, we're all in this. We're all in this. Like I could go to my neighbor and be like, hey, we actually have a common thread.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't even need words, right?
No.
Like, I'm out walking people and you just look at each other and there's like this common understanding of what's happening right now.
Yeah.
It's
it is, there is, I really truly believe that this is happening for us. This is happening as an opportunity that we can truly use this epidemic, this pandemic, this thing that's happening, that's basically shutting the world down. Like it's shutting down what the normal operations of economy, of government, of, you know, schools, of work. And it gives us an opportunity to reevaluate and really look at, like, if I were to die tomorrow, like, again, like on my deathbed, what do I want to look back on my life and say, God, I did a good job. And I don't mean did a good job, like I was a good human. Like my life actually impacted people in a positive way. And I've been on that journey forever. You know, like unconscious to what that actually looked like. But no, there's a knowing that's like, wow, I get this one lifetime as me. We're going to talk about what I believe about after, you know, life stuff, but like right now in this life, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it. And we never know. I think what's great about, you know, we're all faced with it's a holy shit moment.
Totally.
It's a holy shit experience. Like, holy shit, I could lose everything. And my reaction to that is, yes. Like, yes, to me, the chains are off. Like the chains are off. So it's like, all right, what if I did lose everything? All right, I'd be fine. I'd be fine. Think
about how many people are in so much fear of that, Kristen. And if they really just peeled back that fear and just really like boiled down to some questions and really ask questions. Yeah. Like we would all be okay.
Well, and I think, you know, there's a construct when we talked and you introduced me, the truth is you are not your things. The truth is you are not your job title. The truth is you are not your home and your money in your bank. And the truth is you're not the car you drive. Yet we live in a construct where I believe that's falling off a little bit, but for a lot of people, there is that identity to my stuff, to my things, to my status, my wealth, my whatever. And also the opposite side, for people who aren't wealthy, you're not your poverty.
Right.
Like you're not any of it. So have the deep freaking conversation now, like really get honest with yourself. Start to really ask yourself the questions. What is my life about? What am I doing? Like really, what am I doing here? And some people, I believe some people are not there. They're asleep to it, you know, and that's a choice.
Right. And
this
you know
is an
what?
Amazing opportunity.
Totally. Like I totally agree. And if this would have happened 3 years ago, I probably would have been there as well. Tied to my title, tied to my 6 figures, tied to, you know, all the, like, when I get this next promotion, when I do this, then I'll get that. When I, we're like, I spent my first part of my life thinking that was normal, thinking that this is what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to grow up and go to school and have a family and accumulate things, right?
Yeah.
And so I've spent the last year like really detaching from that title, detaching from that income, detaching from all those things that I thought that I needed.
Yep.
And like we're still so stuck to it as a society.
It's again, it's an awakening.
Yeah.
It's totally just becoming awake to the bigger question of if you died tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like really, I mean, I like that's the great equalizer is the prospect of death. It's the great freaking equalizer. Because guess what? We all share that too.
Right.
We all share it. It's the ultimate outcome of this thing, this journey that we're on. Oh shit, at the end I die.
Yeah.
So like, what does that mean? What does that mean for you right now in this moment? What that means is like, live the shit out of it.
Right. And here's the thing, what was happening before 2 weeks ago, right, is that we were all on this like massive, like rat race, like go, do, and filling up calendars. And I'm guilty of it. I still find myself in it, right? Like, and just going. And the reason why this is happening for us is because it's giving all of us just this huge pause button. Like, wait a second, let's pause right now, and let's figure out what's important, and let's figure out how we really want to move forward in our life and what that means and what that looks like. So I think that, you know, anybody listening, that's such a great thing to do if you haven't done that already. Just take some time, take 2 hours and go by yourself and be by yourself and just really, Kristen and I have tons of questions we can give you. If you need those questions, just call us or let us know. But like, there are ways and things that you can do to really work through this process to come out so much stronger on the other side of it.
Yeah. If you choose it.
If you choose it.
If
yeah.
you choose
Choice.
it.
It's all about choice.
Yeah.
So as we kind of start to wrap up here, this goes so fast every time.
We love to chat.
We do, and we do good at it. So that big voice that you talked about the big voice and the little voice. I call that big voice the itty bitty shitty committee.
Yeah, I call it the bully, the bitch. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we get to get past that. We get to move past it. The name of the podcast, Kristen, is Your Leadership Legacy. And so my last question that I always wrap up with is, what leadership legacy do you aspire to leave?
It really is kind of the culmination of that I continue to live into the possibility for my life, the potential for my life, that I actually use the unique gifts that God, Spirit, Universe, Mother Nature gave me, that I use those gifts because they are God-given, the things that the things that I came here with, things that were developed over all my experiences and my time and my time here, that I actually use those for good, that I use those things that come naturally to me, or experiences that maybe at the time sucked really bad, but like, wow, what I learned out of it was magical, that I actually use those to serve other people. My legacy gets to be, I'm used up. I'm used up, like impacted others positively, that I have 2 daughters that I get to raise into strong, female, loving, powerful, tender leaders of their own life, and that they are they're my legacy, and that I get to be my highest for them and for everyone else who watches, who learns from me, who is coached by me, who is just a friend of mine and is impacted by me, that my life is of the highest.
I love that. Lucky girls. Lucky girls. That's what I'll say.
Thank you.
All right. So we're gonna wrap up. I have a couple more things though before we wrap up. So first of all, where can people find you?
Yes.
Very important.
Facebook, my Facebook business page is Self-Expressed with Kristen, or Kristen Lena, Lena, and then Instagram is Kristen Lena 10. And then, yeah.
Were there 9 others and you just
and then there's my website, kristenlena.com. What else can I do? My MySpace page. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what this. I'm like,
whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. Aging myself.
Yeah, right. Awesome. The other thing that I want to quick talk about is that you and I, so we've done you've done 2 Alive and Unleashed retreats. I was with you for the second one, just like a month or so
February.
ago. I don't even know when it was, but yeah, so the other thing that we're thinking about doing is taking that retreat virtual. Yay! So details to come on that, right?
Yeah. We were slated to do we got done with February and we were like, great, next, because it was so powerful and it was so impactful. So we had scheduled it for end of May, last weekend in May, and then this all happened. And then we're leaders, so we're shifting, because this work gets to be our legacy. This gets to be an expression of us empowering women to rise, to step into their leadership, to step into their own personal power. And we get to coach and train around how to do that. And it's magical work. It just is. Yeah.
It is. I mean, to watch some of these women come in on day one and, be in their stories and bring their experience. Yeah. And then to watch them walk out on day 3, just full of their full power and lit up and just ready to tackle life is, I know that it's the work that I'm dedicated to for the rest of my life. Yeah. So
we will be announcing how, when, and where that is occurring. I'm glad that you brought that up. That's awesome.
Yes, I almost forgot. And I'm like, we got to bring it up. All right. So I want to thank you. So Kristen, let me acknowledge you. You're not only my dear friend, but you are an amazing transformational leader and coach and trainer and everything that goes with it, speaker, all of it. I've watched you flip people on a dime into the right mindset and where they needed to be. And so you're powerful, you're beautiful, inside and out. And I just want to thank you so much for everything that you do in the world.
I love you. I acknowledge you as well. Thank you for doing this work.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, that wraps up another episode of Your Leadership Legacy. Until next time, bye.
My name is Tina Paulus-Krause, and I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. Check out our programs and events at trueyouteams.com. And until next time, make it an amazing day.